QToday.
Well, hello, Quesnel, and welcome to QToday. I'm Allison Duddy.
And I'm Mitch Vick, and this is our show for May the 17th.
Our top stories today, the election, of course, and a West Quesnel land stability open house is scheduled.
And coming up later in the show, another home-based business segment from Susan MacNeill, and Nate continues his conversation with George Young.
All right. Okay, here at QToday, we bring you the recent news from the Quesnel Caribou Observer, and we also bring you our own stories from the community. So let's get right to the news with Mitch.
Thank you very much, Allison.
You're welcome.
Well, the election is over, and we have a new MLA. Well known in our city as Executive Director of the Chamber of Commerce, and of course, former City Councillor, Coralie Oakes garnered 41% of the vote, and over 500 votes over incumbent and independent Bob Simpson. Duncan Barnett of the NDP came third with 21%, and here are the actual numbers. Coralie Oakes got 5,459 votes, Simpson got 4,933, and Barnett got 2,840 votes. Oakes held her victory party at the Billy Barker Hotel, where she profusely thanked her supporters. She said, "The campaign has been the greatest experience of my life so far. I want to congratulate Bob and Duncan for their outstanding jobs on this campaign." Simpson said, "We ran a no-regrets campaign. We gave voters a different option." For his part, Barnett said, "I'm proud of the positive campaign that we ran. It was the right thing to do." Very interesting election in town for our riding.
Definitely.
I think to talk about the election as a whole, definitely a result that wasn't expected. But I think from Quesnel's perspective, we are going to get a very good representative in Coralie Oakes. They were all great campaigners. I think it was a good campaign.
None of the negative kind of comments around here that were going on at the provincial level.
I agree. So it was a good campaign. I think all the candidates were pretty respectful, and I think we had really good choices, and
right.
The voters have spoken.
Yeah, you bet. Congratulations, Coralie. All right, in city news, an open house detailing the West Quesnel Land Stability Program has been scheduled for Thursday, May the 23rd, in the gym at Voyageur Elementary School. The session begins at 6 p.m. with city staff and engineering consultants on hand to speak with residents in a one-to-one setting. And this will be followed by a formal presentation at 7 p.m., which will outline the work that is scheduled to take place this year, as well as the results of the work that was completed last year in 2012. Mayor Mary Schustrom said finding a lasting solution to the West Quesnel land stability issue is a top priority of City Council, one we have dedicated a great deal of time and funding to. The 2012 full-scale dewatering program was a $4.7 million project designed to help reduce land movement in the West Quesnel land stability study area. It saw the installation of 13 pumping wells in the study area and 10 horizontal drain sites consisting of approximately 64 drains across the eastern toe of the valley slope. If you want more information about the West Quesnel land stability program, you can go to www.quesnel.ca/wqls.html. Hopefully we'll put that up on the bottom of your screen if you want to catch that. So.
Yeah, it's an important issue. As a resident of the Uplands area, I can tell you that this is a concern. There's been a lot of property damage, as we all well know, and notwithstanding with that slide, it's hurt property values. So this is definitely an issue that needs the attention that City Council is giving it. I know personally, I appreciate the attention, and let's get this thing fixed. And I think we're on the road to that.
I agree.
And hopefully the dewatering does what it's supposed to do.
Exactly.
Yeah.
All right.
One of Canada's most recognized icons, the Royal Mounted Police musical ride, will be performing at Alex Fraser Park on July 16th. The troupe of 32 horses and riders will perform a variety of cavalry drills choreographed to music. Working through a unique medium, they support the RCMP community policing efforts throughout Canada. The musical ride was developed in 1876 by early members of the Northwest Mounted Police to display their riding ability and entertain the local community. Members of the ride are first and foremost police officers. They all have at least 2 years' experience in active police work before volunteering for duty with the musical ride. Tickets are available at Circle S Western Wear at 347 Reed Street for $10 each. Proceeds from ticket sales are donated to local community projects.
That's awesome. Something to look forward to.
Absolutely.
Yeah. All right, moving on to sports. The Gold Pane City Derby girls took on the North Coast Nightmares in an action-packed bout last weekend. Coach Willow, aka Willow Mina, said it was our best game yet. Our skating was good, our strategy was good, and our communication was good. The Nightmares, hailing out of Terrace with a few spare players from Williams Lake to round out their roster, came out with a lot of spirit, but they were facing an uphill battle from the start against the more experienced Gold Pane club. The Gold Pane girls gave the Nightmares migraine levels of pain, winning 325 to 72. The Derby girls are back in action against Prince George on June the 1st, so check that out at the Twin Arenas. It's great fun.
372?
325 to 72.
Oh, I guess I don't understand the scoring, but it's obviously not.
It's quite a beating, obviously. I mean, come on.
Better luck next time.
Yeah.
All right, it's time for Susan MacNeill's home-based business segment. This time, Susan speaks with Lana Johnson of Kids Den Events. Let's take a look.
Welcome, Quesnel. I'm Susan MacNeill, and I'm here with the home-based business segment. And today we're pleased to welcome Lana Johnson from the Kids Den Events.
Hi.
Hi, Lana. Thank you for coming. I just love your outfit, and we welcome you here today. Could you tell us a little bit about what your business is all about?
Sure. I am a birthday party leader and planner, and I'm mostly known for my face painting and getting into body art. Do glitter tattoos, coloring tattoos, and I'm starting to get into henna as well. So I do lots of big events, and I also do private birthday party bookings and other little functions. Mm-hmm. People can hire me either as a face painter or as a games leader. We also have some other things that the girls that contract for me do as well. We do mad scientist themed birthday parties where we dress in lab coats with crazy colored wigs and our faces painted, and we do science experiments.
How fun.
And we've done 3 of those birthday parties now and a big event with Science World. It was really exciting.
You mean with Science World down in Vancouver?
Science World came up here last spring.
Oh, they came here, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was pretty exciting because I asked them if there was any feedback that they had or anything they wanted me to improve on, and they said, no, actually, we're really impressed you're doing this on a community level. And they said exactly what I'm doing they wanted me to keep doing. I was like, should I be explaining more of the science? They're like, no, just what you're doing. And then they asked if they could use some of my ideas at Science World. So it's like, yeah, sure.
Oh my goodness.
Really
well,
exciting.
how exciting. So today you're all zooted up. And is this how you would arrive at a birthday party?
For sure.
Oh
yeah.
my goodness. So can you tell us a little bit about your paints?
When I go to a birthday party, I usually try to be in costume regarding the theme of the party as much as I can. And if not, I go all in one color with my face painted to match the theme. With regards to my paints, I have all high quality professional cosmetic grade face paints. I primarily use a brand called Wolf. It's my favorite paints because it goes on really nice with brushes and I can get the fine detail. And then I've got other paints that I use for more my background color for blending because it doesn't dry as quickly, and so Snazaroo is really nice. And then I've got some funky paints. So I've got blacklight responsive paints. So if you're going to a party or to a club, you can glow in the blacklight. The paints I'm actually wearing today glow in the blacklight. Then I have sparkle paints and got glitter and I've got fake blood and all kinds of fun stuff. So.
Oh my goodness! So quite a wide variety of selections of things to do. So just I'm curious actually, Lana, how long would it take to do your face up today?
It always takes about twice the time to do myself.
Okay.
Because everything's backwards. But when I'm doing most faces, it takes me anywhere from 5 to 20 minutes, depending
Okay.
on how much detail they want.
Okay.
If it's something that I do a lot of, like Spider-Man, I can do a Spider-Man face in 5 minutes, easy.
Oh my goodness. Well, I'm sure that's quite popular with some of our youngsters here in
Yeah.
Quesnel. So can you explain to our viewer audience exactly where we can find you and how to get hold of you?
Sure. You can look me up on Facebook. Just plug in Kids Den and Kids Den events, and it'll come up. You like us, and you can follow. I usually post if I'm doing any special events or promotions or contests. And if I've asked you and I got a permission slip saying that I can use your kids' pictures for promotions, they'll usually end up on my Facebook page. And you can call me at 250-747-0303 or email me at kidsden@live.com.
Well, that's awesome. Wow. Terrific. Well, we certainly appreciate you coming into the studio today and doing this taping with us, and wish you all the success. And I know the summer's here too, and I'm sure there's lots of other projects that are up and coming in the community, so we look forward to seeing you and following you on Facebook. We do have a Facebook page as well, and we thank you for coming, and that's...
Thank you for having me.
Thank you. That's it for today, Quesnel. Thank you.
All right, well, George Young is back again. He's back at his birthplace where we'll pick up his story. So let's have a look at Nate in conversation with George Young.
Okay, thank you guys. We're back with George Young again this week.
How
Hi,
you doing, George. Nate? Yeah.
You having a good day?
Oh yeah, it's really good, eh?
Yeah, weather's starting to change, eh?
Yeah, spring is here just about, eh?
Yeah,
Another
for
couple
sure.
months.
Well, we're in your community now where you grew up, and specifically we're around the Marguerite Ferry now.
Right, yes.
And so what are we going to do today?
Well, we're going to go do the old Marguerite Ferry, and then we're going to head up to Rocky Point Ranch where I was raised, and then we're going to go down to the reserve and see old Chief Jan George and have a little conversation with him and the other
Okay.
chief there and stuff.
Yeah, good. Okay, George, Marguerite Ferry was decommissioned in about 10 years ago, something like that.
Right.
And so, but it served a really good purpose until that time, didn't it?
Yes, everybody, like it has cut the rest, West Quesnel off the rest of the world. I mean, you had to go right from Quesnel right to Williams Lake, and then at Soda Creek, eventually they put
Rudy Johnson Bridge?
These farmers went down and did the impossible, put a bridge across so they could get access to the other side. So anyway, this is at the Marguerite Ferry now, and it talks about the last remaining one here. And when you drove down to the ferry, this is the landing going onto it. And the top picture on the other side, is that, can you see that, or do you want me to move it? That's good. Okay, this is the last picture that I know of a person taking a picture across the ferry, and that used to be run by
neat.
Frank Lang back at that time. And there's the old, at the bottom picture there, of course, that's how the kids used to get across in the wintertime to go to school.
Because they took the...
They took everything down now.
Yeah.
And of course, this is the last pictures of the old Marguerite Ferry, and it's run by cables. It pulled it when you turned the wheel. It pulled the cables over, and the current grabbed the boat and pushed it across, and that's how it ran by itself, like you didn't
And
have
it was called a reaction ferry.
reaction ferry. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
And now we're going up the old highway there in the old the phone lines and telegraph lines and stuff from the railroad, and we come to the old farm there. Now on the right-hand side there, I've got a picture of Philip Johnny, which is a native fellow that taught me, or I grew up with. And next to him is William Sam, which is around still today. And they look so much alike that I get them confused. And in the background, that's the building that I was a baby in, and called the old McGinnis Roadhouse. When I was approximately 8 years old, this picture on the tractor there, that's me sitting on there,
Right.
and having a kind of a kerchief over my forehead or my head there. When I was 8 years old, I had 2 brain tumors and stuff, and so my life as going to school and playing with kids and that just was almost disappeared. And so the natives, I learned a lot of things from the natives, and that's why I was so involved with them. And I never really went to school and stuff. And
Well, that's really amazing. How
Yeah.
long did you have to have your head protected like that?
oh, not very long, for about a year or so, I guess.
Okay.
But now these are the neighbors across the river there.
Yeah.
And Roy Melvahel, he's still alive as far as I know. And here he
Right,
is
right.
riding a pet moose there that he had. And of course, Billy Wilson, he's got one there on the thing, but they were just like riding horses, like, you know, they raised them as kids, eh?
Oh, I see. Yeah.
And anyway, this is the picture next to that yellow dog. There was a golden retriever, and he was one of those seeing eye dogs that helped me through life.
Oh,
And,
yeah.
Yeah, when I was
Yeah.
younger and stuff, because you know.
You had vision problems.
Yeah, I only had about 10% of my vision. Yeah.
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 And when did you get your vision back?
I was pretty well in around 1980s, I guess. Pretty well, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So you had as you grew up, you had a sixth sense about you to be able to understand your environment, didn't you?
Right. I could see things with my feelings without my eyes, and it's only a blind person could understand that. Like I could feel the presence of a bear or something like that, and I could tell from the feelings where it was, like a grizzly or something like that. I could tell about it by the way it touched the ground and all kinds of stuff that nobody with eyes could understand. But I can see things long before my eyes can, from sense, eh? You know, like an animal instinct.
Great. And that little dog helped you a little bit.
Well, that's a seeing eye dog, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then this top picture here, this is the old building that it's right across the street from the old McGinnis house, and we lived in that place. And I always thought it had spooks in there, and I built a fort and I lived outside. I couldn't live in that place. I was scared to death. But it could have been, I had rheumatic fever also that probably made my life so miserable. And anyway, this is my sister, and when she got married to Jerry Penner. And this is the last pictures of the old house and that. And his car, he had a 53 meter and it was black, red, and yellow. No, black, red, and white, I think. So, 3 different combinations.
I love all the cars in the early 50s. It was great. I saw a Buick, 53 Buick for sale in south of town for $67,000 now, totally restored.
Sideways? That's good. Okay. Now, and then of course we had the old barn down by the house there and that. And of course, it's one of our shows that Nate and I did before. That's the old pemmican picture, and this is
that's right.
And this picture here is where I learned how to chip rocks with you pour hot or heat it up, and you take a straw and you dump water on it, and it breaks it off, and that's how you make arrowheads. And this is experimental rock that you turn to learn how to do that.
Wow.
Now down at the reserve here, this is the old church that was there.
On what side?
Well, that's just right
on our side, on the east side.
Yes, it's right across the street, right across the river from the old Fort Alexandria.
Okay.
When we were showing the Fort Alexandria and you see the church in the background, that was the same picture.
Okay. Wow.
And you can see the nice big tower at the top there with a bell in it and stuff like that at the old church there and stuff. And anyway, I went down there to take a picture again, and Billy Boy's son there, Travis there, he did a pose in front of it. And look at the old lead glass window, front window there. Eh? Now on our side of the fence there was always better fishing over there, so the natives used to fish on our side, which was always handy for us.
And that is, what is that?
Fish stand.
Fish stand. Okay.
Yeah, you stand on there and dip, eh?
Yeah.
And of course at the ranch down there at Marguerite too, we used to have cactuses there, and they're still there today. And the bottom picture.
Wow, cactuses up here. Okay.
Yeah, they're still there today. And the bottom picture there is where they used to tie up the salmon and stuff and smoke them, eh?
Right. Okay, there's a familiar face.
Now, Chief John George, he used to come up to Quesnel and stuff like that, and he used to stop at Williams Lake and Quesnel and Prince George and that, and he used to stop in at the res next door and visit Joe Bushy and his wife Aguette. And anyway, he used to, as he came to visit there and stuff, I took a picture. And this is an underground place where you can go down, and it's like a teepee, but it's underground sort of thing. And you sit around in there. It's nice and warm in there.
Pit house, yeah.
And after he left there, he went up to the Corlew School in Quesnel there and did a speech up there.
That's about 56, and he went on to a big acting career, eh?
Right, yeah.
Okay, Little Big Man and some other ones that people know.
Yes.
Okay, and that's Ernie Phillips. Okay, and Ernie's just was around here last year.
Yeah, we used to own the Nazca Lodge, and he used to come out there and visit us and stuff. And this is inside a teepee and stuff like that. And this is where he taught me how to chew, make chewing gum out of
Oh.
Fur bark, eh?
Oh, really?
Yeah, you take the pitch and chew it and it makes gum, eh?
And
this
how does it taste?
terrible. But after you get rid of that, it's not bad.
Yeah.
And then this is that seeing eye dog, and I used to, I made a harness up for him, and I used to feed the pigs and stuff
Oh,
like that.
right.
And this dog could do anything, and there he is on a step,
Wow.
on a seesaw.
Wow,
with
that's
with
great.
the thing, yeah. And he used
What's
to-
his name?
Rover? Yeah.
Rover. That's a good name for him.
My brother, he bought this cat there and stuff, and it's an old cleat track, eh?
Oh.
Which, yeah, Oliver, it was related to the old Olivers and stuff, eh?
Mm-hmm.
And the old thrash machine and that, and then down below here is our old phone number, Alexandria 1U, and it's different names on there and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And there he is, my dog again, up on a step ladder.
Good Rover.
Yeah, and then over here we're the thrashing crew, and we used to make stooks and all that stuff out in the field.
Wow. So it was real working, a lot of work.
Yeah, a lot of work, yeah. Now, these pictures here, this is the old McCullough power saw that probably weighed 45 pounds or something like that, with a tank of gas in it, and you're supposed to hold that up while you cut down a tree, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then,
Oh, here's another.
and we used to, later on, we got rid of the binder, and this one here was a combine, and I used to sit at the back, and the grain would go into a bag, and called a bagger and stuff like that. And my parents bought this Dodge 56 Custom Royal. And the reason that's so interesting is it had a push button, park, reverse, and drive was on
Right,
push buttons
right.
instead of gear shift, eh?
Right.
Yes.
Your first automatic.
And then this is an old 50 Merc pickup my parents had bought. And move sideways. Okay. Now, anyway, I used to smoke when I was a young boy and stuff like that, and I was sitting on this log, and I felt a cat come around there, and I was petting it like that, and I looked around, and here it turned out to be a skunk, and we became really good friends. So my dad fixed it so it didn't smell anymore, and it became really good. And here I'm feeding it Cheese Whiz out of a bottle. Eh?
Okay, that's really healthy for it.
Now,
But
this
that's
picture
pretty
here-
good. That's you?
That's
doing
me,
it?
yes.
Oh, yeah,
And
okay.
my dog, of course, he didn't like it, so he just stayed
Oh,
away from
okay.
it. It always did smell a little bit. Now, Bill Blake and Quesnel there, he used to run the airport up there and stuff, and they gave me, the airport people gave me a ham set here, and so when a plane flew over, I would try to get the numbers off it and tell them that I've seen the plane flying over, just so that they knew that it passed
It was on its
that
way.
area in case
Oh,
if anything
wow,
went
that's
wrong.
really great.
And
And
also
that was
that
set
was
up in
used-
your room, or?
Right, and the RCMP also, I used to be able to communicate with them if there was a car that they were looking for or something. They happened to go by and stuff. Eh? Now this picture
Wow,
here
that's really
is-
interesting, George.
this here picture here is the old McGinnis Roadhouse at the bottom here, and the top picture is where they started to tear it down with the cat. So you can see that that's why these people were standing out in front of it. And this is back in 1956. Now over on the next picture, over on the other side, this is the new house that we built at the ranch, and the chicken house that we had about 6,000 layers is the second picture, and that's the old original school that was there. And of course, my dad used to give me about $1 a week for wages, and he said, "Don't spend it if you don't have to." So I thought I might not see another one, so I still kept it. So anyway, that's
There it is.
This is the whole story of me living on the ranch.
Well, George, we had a pretty good trip, and we ended up. We certainly know a lot about the history of your area where you were brought up.
Right.
And you know what really strikes me is that people on a car, they're driving south, say from Prince George to Vancouver. You just kind of go zoom,
Yeah.
and you don't really appreciate it. So thank you very much for bringing us all these stories. I think we have a little bit more that we want to talk about in terms of what Quesnel at that time, one or two more shows.
Right.
But it was great to see this part of your life where you grew up.
Right. Thank you very much, Shaw and Nate, for letting me on the show, and hopefully we brought some fun to lots of the old neighbors that remember the country.
So remember, just go into the computer and go find the internet and go qcatv.ca, and you will find our program. If you don't know how to do it, just get a friend. People are learning. They know how to do this kind of stuff nowadays. Okay, so qcatv.ca, and thank you again, George Young.
Thank you.
All right, now let's check out what's happening locally with our community calendar.
As always, thanks to the Quesnel Lions Club for helping to make our show possible. Their next garage sale is Saturday, May 25th from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. at the Maple Park Mall. And remember, you can watch us anytime on the web at qcatv.ca, thanks to Eddie D'Souza, or check us out on Facebook, Big Q, Big T, all one word.
Well, that's it for this show. We want to hear from you with your story and your comments on our show. Whatever you think is important, we think is important. So email us today at qtoday@shaw.ca with your story, or ask us to cover a story which you know the community would just love to know more about.
And remember,
Q Today is about
Quesnel talking to Quesnel. Bye for now.